Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Wednesday, July 6th. We have a red flag warning in effect along the Utah border further south of the Magic Valley today. We will have some morning showers kind of working their way across the Magic Valley as well, up through the central mountains with some afternoon thunderstorms, and I'll be breaking that down for you this morning. So keywords we're going to focus on today, do some morning showers kind of working through the Magic Valley, central mountains this morning. Those will turn into some afternoon thunderstorms as you get further northeast. Main location for those storms today is going to be the central mountains and eastern highlands. Marginal risk for some severe thunderstorms north of Chalice through Friday. And what that means is going to see some wind gusts potentially above 50 miles an hour with some hail and brief moderate rain with some of those stronger storms across the North Country. Storms expand in coverage for Thursday as they continue to track north Friday into Saturday and Sunday as we continue to see that low pressure system work north into Canada. Red flag warning is in effect today from noon until 9 o'clock, and that's going to be fire weather zone 427. So that's pretty much all the area just south of I-84 and I-86 through as you get towards the Magic Valley. So Goose Creek Valley, Raft River Valley, and the southern Sawtooth National Forest. Main concern today is going to be those gusty winds above 30 miles an hour with humidities less than 15%, creating some critical fire weather conditions. Warm and dry conditions do continue, so outside of the red flag warning today, we are going to be keeping an eye on that through the remainder of the week as afternoon highs are expected to climb into the mid-90s for Friday, and potential for 100 degrees increases for next week as we have a very dominant high-pressure ridge establishing itself across much of the western and central United States. Satellite this morning does capture a few of those showers just starting to kick off here. We're starting to see some light returns on radar early this morning, and further north, a little bit more thunderstorm potential as you get up into Montana, but morning showers should stay fairly light and as they continue to track northeast into Montana. Weather risk outlook today, just outside of the red flag warning, it's mainly going to be some fairly breezy conditions across much of southeast Idaho, continuing that threat into Thursday as well. So keeping an eye on some potential red flag concerns as we go through the later part of this week. But outside of that, we're just mainly looking at those breezy winds with some showers and storms pretty much contained across the North Country over the next few days, especially through Friday, decreasing in coverage as we get towards Saturday. For Sunday, mostly dry conditions as that low pressure system does track north into Canada. We should be seeing fairly dry conditions and warming temperatures. Slight cool down this weekend as we have a dry shortwave trough passing through. But outside of that, it looks to just amplify your winds on Saturday. Slightly less breezy on Sunday, but we have those temperatures roaring back for us early next week. Watches, warnings, and advisories currently in effect. That red flag warning in effect just through about the I-86, I-84 corridor through Jackpot. So we're looking at the southern Sawtooth National Forest and a few of our southern lower elevation valleys. Weather risk outlook for today. So this is a severe weather outlook for today from the Storm Prediction Center. And again, those marginal risk for thunderstorms, let's say north of Chalice. Taking a look where those storms will develop, it looks like there'll be a fairly active pocket between Chalice and Salmon this afternoon, only increasing in intensity as you get into southwest and central Montana. For tomorrow, that threat does shift further west into Idaho, so we do have that severe threat as far as continuing further west, staying north of Chalice and Stanley, so northern Custer County, and that extending all the way up through Salmon, where a slight risk is actually carried through the central panhandle into northern Idaho. Day 3, so we're going to have those thunderstorms most widespread for Thursday, but on Friday, those storms do take a further north turn. So by Friday, we're seeing those storms at least, staying mainly confined just north of Stanley. Everyone further south will be staying dry as those thunderstorms do stay contained further up towards the Montana border. High temperatures and minimum relative humidities today, so this is one thing that we look at for fire weather conditions and concerns. Afternoon highs today will be in the 80s to mid-90s across much of the Snake Plain. Slightly cooler in the mountains, but again, widespread relative humidities less than 15%, including where that red flag warning is for areas less than 6,000 feet, but also seeing that threat across the Snake Plain. So just because you're not in that red flag warning today does not mean that fires cannot begin to spread very quickly given those breezy winds and lower relative humidities. Wind gusts this afternoon today, it's going to be strongest again around the southern border where that red flag warning is in effect, but also across the upper Snake Plain out towards the INL Arco Desert area. Should be seeing some wind gusts up to about 30, 35, even 40 miles an hour, some of the higher locales. High temperatures on Thursday, so keep it with a fairly consistent temperature trend through Friday, if not warming by a degree or two. So we're still in the 80s to mid-90s for your Thursday afternoon with continued very dry afternoon conditions. For Friday, wind gusts staying pretty much the same as what we're going to see today, if not just a slight bit lighter. So we're starting to see those wind gusts again, potential up to about 30, 35 miles an hour across much of Idaho, slightly less as you get further north and west. For Friday, this looks like to be the warmest day of the week, so we're having widespread highs in the 90s. So we're looking at 95 Pocatello, 95 in Shoshone, and we're starting to see those temperatures, very warm for your Friday afternoon. Relative humidity staying on the drier side of things, but we are going to see temperatures slightly cool down this weekend before they begin to ramp up early next week. Wind gusts Friday, so we're looking at a little bit less breeziness as across the Snake Plain. Generally gusts at about 30, 35 miles an hour, but should be at least, just a typical Idaho afternoon when you're looking at winds. For your Saturday, temperatures are going to fall by a few degrees. It's more noticeably in the Magic Valley by about 5 degrees, but everywhere else just by about 2 to 5 degrees. And we're continuing to see that very dry conditions, but a slight cool down in temperatures for your Saturday and Sunday. Wind gusts on Saturday, again, seeing that potential. Just keeping with the breezy, active wind pattern. Winds do shift to be out of the west towards this weekend, so we're going to have south-southwest winds through about Friday, and winds generally transitioning to be out of the west for your Saturday. Temperatures on Sunday, keeping with that downward trend. We're just losing about a degree or two in some locations, but afternoon highs are back in the 80s to low 90s for your Sunday with the continued dry conditions, and we do have the potential for reaching 100 degrees as we have a very dominant high-pressure ridge establishing itself for early next week, keeping those elevated fire conditions and concerns going through the middle part of July. 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. So here you can see a pretty well-defined area. They're leaning below precipitation for the middle part of July. So this is the 11th through 15th. So keeping with a favored chance of below normal precipitation. But more noticeably, you can see this bullseye of near 70 to 80% favorability of above normal temperatures. So there is a heat dome establishing across the central and western United States. And what that means for us is we're going to have those continued above normal temperatures through the weekend, even with that slight cool down, and the potential next week for highs in the upper 90s to near 100 degrees across much of the Snake Plain and Magic Valley. 8 to 14, we're starting to see a little bit more of that monsoonal moisture push from the southwest, so starting to return to some near normal precipitation levels as we get towards July 13th through 19th. But outside of that, it looks like it's going to stay pretty below normal further north in the Panhandle, but could see some monsoonal moisture working into the central and northern Rockies towards the middle to later part of next week. And once again, keeping with that bullseye, just about 60 to 80% chance of favored above normal temperatures continuing. So that moisture won't bring any cooler air, but what it will bring is just a slight chance for some moisture across much of our southern terrain. So as that moisture kind of works through the desert southwest, up through Utah, and here into Idaho, so we're going to see that progression through the central and northern Rockies, but keeping with those very warm temperatures, especially through the middle part of July. And in summary this morning, too, some morning showers working across the Magic Valley and Central Mountains. Mainly going to be those are going to be transitioning to afternoon thunderstorms as they get towards the Central Mountains north. So do have a marginal risk for some severe thunderstorms north of Chalice through Friday. And with those stronger storms, could get some wind gusts in excess of 50 miles an hour, some hail, and brief moderate rain. Those storms do expand for coverage on Thursday. So we're looking at our most widespread thunderstorm potential on Thursday. And those storms are going to be tracking north for your Friday and Saturday. Red flag warning, it is in effect for fire weather zone 427, and the main concern is that it's going to be those gusty winds and relative humidities less than 15%. That's in effect from noon until 9 o'clock tonight. Warm and dry conditions continue, so we're having afternoon highs continue to climb through Friday. Slight cool down for your weekend, but that potential for 100 degrees comes right back for early next week. And that wraps up your weather briefing for today, Wednesday, July 6th. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Have an awesome day.